My husband had an affair with my ex-best friend right next door, and when I caught them, he lied to my face while she smirked. Now I'm stuck living beside her every day. Okay, so I've been sitting on this for weeks, trying to figure out if I'm losing it or if I've got every right to be this pissed. I need to get it off my chest because it's eating me alive, and honestly, I don't know who else to tell besides you strangers out there. My husband, Ethan, cheated on me with my ex-best friend, Chloe, who, get this, is now our freaking neighbor. Yeah, it's as messed up as it sounds. I'll try to keep this coherent, but fair warning. I'm a mess right now, so bear with me. I'm 34, been married to Ethan for 6 years. He's 35, the kind of guy who can talk his way out of anything. Charming, funny, but selfish as hell when you peel back the layers. We've had our ups and downs, sure, but I thought we were solid. Then there's Chloe, 32, who used to be my ride or die back in college. She's gorgeous, always has been, and she knows it. Loves the attention, loves being the center of everything. We drifted apart years ago after a stupid fight I barely remember, but apparently, she didn't forget. Now she lives next door, and my life's gone to crap. Let me back up. Ethan and I bought this house 3 years ago, a cute little 2-story in a quiet suburb. It's not fancy, but it's ours. White picket fence vibes, you know. I've got a decent job working remotely, and he's a mechanic, always tinkering with cars in the garage. We weren't perfect. Sometimes I get on him for leaving greasy rags everywhere, and he'd nag me about working late, but it worked. Or so I thought. Chloe moved in next door about 6 months ago. I didn't even know it was her at first. I saw the moving truck, peeked out the window, and there she was, blonde hair, loud laugh, directing the movers like she owned the place. My stomach dropped when I realized it was her. We hadn't talked in, like, 8 years, not since she got mad at me over something dumb. I think it was because I started dating Ethan when she still had a thing for him. She never said it outright, but she got cold after that, and we just stopped hanging out. Seeing her again brought all that back, but I figured, whatever, we're adults now. Maybe we could even patch things up. Big mistake. At first, it was fine. She came over with a bottle of wine as a welcome to the neighborhood thing, except she was the new one, not us. Ethan was there, and they hit it off, laughing about old times I wasn't even part of. I brushed it off, told myself I was being paranoid. Chloe started coming by more, though, asking Ethan to help with stuff like fixing her leaky sink or moving a couch. He'd always say yes, grinning like it was no big deal. She's on her own over there, he'd tell me. Just being neighborly. I'd nod, but it bugged me. She'd linger after, chatting him up while I cooked dinner or something. I'd catch her smirking at me, like she knew she was getting under my skin. Then the lies started. Little ones at first. Ethan would say he was working late, but I'd hear his truck pulling way earlier. One night, I looked out the window and saw him coming from Chloe's side of the fence, brushing grass off his jeans. I asked him about it, and he said her mower broke and he was just helping. Okay, fine. But it kept happening. He'd run to the store and be gone 2 hours. His phone started buzzing more. Texts he'd brush off as work stuff. I'm not proud of it, but I checked it once when he was in the shower. Nothing obvious, just a bunch of messages from C with dumb emojis. I didn't confront him then. I should have, but I didn't want to be that wife, you know? Things got worse when the neighbors started talking. We've got this older couple across the street. Nice folks, but nosy. One day, the wife pulled me aside while I was getting the mail. You know your husband's been over at that girl's place a lot, she said, all hushed like it was a scandal. Saw him sneaking out her back door at midnight last week. I laughed it off, said she must have been mistaken, but my chest felt tight. Then another neighbor, a guy who walks his dog every morning, asked if Ethan and I were open. I was like, what? No, what? He shrugged and said, just see him and her together a lot. Thought you should know. I wanted to crawl into a hole. By then, I couldn't ignore it. I started paying attention, really watching. Ethan's excuses got sloppier. One night, he said he was grabbing beers with a buddy, but his truck never left the street. I saw lights flicker on at Chloe's place, and 20 minutes later, he strolled back home, acting casual. I lost it. I waited till he sat down with a beer and just went off. Are you screwing her? I yelled. He froze, then laughed, actually laughed, and said, you're being crazy. She's just a friend. I told him about the neighbors, the late nights, everything. He doubled down, said I was imagining things, that I needed to chill. I felt like I was going insane. The next day, I went to Chloe's. I don't even know what I was hoping for. Maybe an apology, maybe proof I was wrong. She opened the door in this tiny tank top, smirking like she'd been expecting me. I asked her straight up, "Are you sleeping with my husband?" She rolled her eyes and said, "Wow, you're really paranoid, huh? Ethan's just helping me out. You should trust him more." Then she shut the door in my face. I stood there, shaking, feeling like an idiot. That night, I told my sister everything. She's 37, no filter, and she's always had my back. She was furious. "He's a lying a-hole, and she's a snake," she said. "Dump him." Now, I wanted to, but I kept thinking about our life, the house, the years together. Was I overreacting? My sister said no, but Ethan's mom, oh man, she's a whole other story, called me the next day after he vented to her. She's this overbearing type who thinks Ethan can do no wrong. Marriage is work, she lectured me. You can't just give up over some silly suspicions. Chloe's harmless. I tried explaining, but she kept cutting me off, saying I needed to be more understanding. It made me doubt myself even more. Then came the blow-up. A week ago, I caught them red-handed. I'd been at the grocery store, came home early, and saw Ethan's truck in Chloe's driveway. I parked down the street, walked over, and peeked through her kitchen window. Thank God for no curtains. There they were, all over each other, kissing like teenagers. I didn't even think. I banged on the door until Chloe opened it, half-dressed, looking smug. Ethan was behind her, stammering, "It's not what it looks like." I screamed at them both. 6 years, Ethan. And you, Chloe, what the hell is wrong with you? She just shrugged and said, "Maybe if you'd been enough for him, this wouldn't have happened." Ethan didn't even defend me. He just stood there, muttering about how it just happened. I stormed out, crying so hard I could barely see. Back home, I locked myself in the bedroom while Ethan banged on the door, begging me to talk. I didn't. I couldn't. The next day, he tried again, saying he'd end it with her, that he loved me, that we could fix this. I told him to get out. He's been crashing at his mom's since, texting me nonstop. Apologies, excuses, all of it. Chloe's been quiet, but I see her watching me from her porch sometimes, like she's won something. Here's where it gets messy in my head. I keep replaying everything. Was I too distant? I work a lot, sure, and maybe I've been stressed, but I didn't deserve this. Or did I? Ethan swears it was a one-time thing, but the neighbors say it's been going on for months. My sister's ready to key his truck, and his mom's still on my case about forgiving him. I feel humiliated. Everyone on this street knows, and I can't even look out my window without seeing Chloe's stupid house. I think back to college, too, those days with Chloe. We were inseparable until Ethan came along. She'd flirt with him back then, but I thought it was harmless. Did she plan this? Moving next door, cozying up to him. Was it revenge for something I didn't even know I did? I saw a post on Reddit once about an ex-friend pulling something like this, and I thought it was nuts. Now it's my life. The house feels empty now. I wander around, staring at Ethan's stuff, the toolbox in the garage, his dumb car posters on the wall. I keep smelling his cologne on the couch cushions, and it makes me want to scream. I've got half a mind to sell this place and start over, but then I'd be letting Chloe win, right? She'd probably throw a party the day I left. My sister says I should lawyer up, get proof of the affair, make him pay. I don't even know where to start. I confronted Chloe one more time yesterday. She was watering her stupid flowers, acting all innocent. I asked why me, why him? She smirked and said, "You always thought you were better than me." Guess not. It hit me then. This wasn't just about Ethan. It was about her proving something, settling some old score I didn't even know we had. So here I am, spilling my guts to you all. I don't know what to do. Kick Ethan out for good, try to fix it, burn Chloe's house down, kidding maybe. I feel like I'm drowning in this. Ethan's begging to come back, his mom's guilt tripping me, my sister's ready to fight them both, and Chloe's just living her life like nothing happened. Meanwhile, I'm the one falling apart. Am I the bad guy here? Did I screw this up somehow? Or are they just awful? I can't tell anymore. Update. This is what has happened since then. So, it's been about 10 months since I last spilled my guts here, and holy crap, a lot has gone down. I didn't think I'd have more to say after Ethan and Chloe ripped my life apart. But here I am, back with an update because things have gotten wilder than I ever expected. I'm still living in the same house. Yeah, I couldn't bring myself to leave. But everything else? Total chaos. Let me catch you up on where I'm at, where Ethan's at, and where Chloe's at, plus this new mess that's popped up out of nowhere. After that blow-up where I caught Ethan and Chloe in her kitchen, I kicked him out for good. He spent a couple weeks begging, blowing up my phone with texts like, "I messed up. I'll change. Let me come home." I wasn't having it. I blocked him, packed his stuff into boxes, and left them on the porch for his mom to pick up. She showed up, of course, crying and yelling about how I was ruining her son's life, but I just shut the door. Ethan's been out of the picture since. Well, mostly. He moved into some apartment across town, and last I heard, he's still working at the garage, probably charming his way through every customer like nothing happened. I don't know if he's still seeing Chloe, and honestly, I don't care anymore. He's not my problem. Me, though? I'm a mixed bag. The first few months were rough, like, can't get out of bed rough. I'd walk around the house, staring at the empty spots where his stuff used to be, and just cry. The silence was the worst. No clanging tools in the garage, no dumb car shows blaring on the TV. I kept expecting him to walk through the door, and when he didn't, it hit me all over again. But I got through it. Started therapy, which helped more than I thought it would. I've been pouring myself into work, too. Got a promotion a couple months back, so at least something's going right. The house feels like mine now, not ours. I painted the living room a bright yellow just because I could, and it's stupid how much that cheered me up. Chloe's still next door, which sucks. She didn't move out like I hoped. She's too stubborn for that. For a while, she kept her distance, but I'd catch her smirking at me over the fence when I'd mow the lawn or grab the mail. It was like she wanted me to know she wasn't going anywhere. Then, about 4 months ago, things shifted. She started dating some new guy, tall, loud, drives a motorcycle that wakes me up at 3 a.m. every other night. At first, I was relieved. Maybe she'd moved on from screwing with my life. But nope, she's still Chloe. She'll wave at me all fake nice when she's with him, like we're old pals, and it makes my blood boil. I don't wave back. The neighborhood's quieted down mostly. No more whispers about Ethan sneaking around. Thank God. I think people felt bad for me after word got out. I got a few awkward casseroles dropped off, which was sweet but weird. I've been keeping to myself, just trying to rebuild. My sister's been over a lot, helping me rip out the old carpet Ethan loved and put down hardwood instead. It's like I'm erasing him, piece by piece. I'm not gonna lie, though, I still get these waves of anger, especially when I see Chloe's stupid flowers blooming like she's living her best life while I'm over here picking up the pieces. Now, here's the new problem, and it's a doozy. About a month ago, I started getting these random letters in the mail, no return address, just my name scrawled on the envelope. At first, I thought it was junk, but then I opened one. It was handwritten, short and creepy. "You don't deserve this house." That was it. I brushed it off as some prank, maybe kids messing around. But they kept coming. Every few days, same handwriting, same vibe. "You should leave. This isn't over." He was mine first. That last one freaked me out the most. I've got no proof, but my gut's screaming Chloe's behind it. Who else would pull this crap? Ethan's done with me, and I can't think of anyone else who'd care enough to torment me like this. I took the letters to the cops, but they weren't much help. No threats of violence, no fingerprints, nothing they can do unless it escalates. They suggested a security camera, so I got one installed last week. Points right at my porch and hers. Haven't caught anything yet, but I check the footage every night like a paranoid lunatic. My sister thinks I should confront Chloe again, but last time I tried that, she just laughed in my face. I'm not giving her the satisfaction. Still, it's messing with my head. I'll be cooking dinner, and every creak in the house makes me jump. I hate that she's got me on edge again, like she's still winning somehow. Ethan popped back into the picture last week, too. Not in a big way, but enough to throw me off. He texted me out of the blue, first time since I blocked him. "Heard you're doing good. Can we talk?" I didn't reply, but it stirred up all this crap I thought I'd buried. Why now? Did Chloe dump him, and he's crawling back? Or is he in on these letters somehow? I don't know, and it's driving me nuts. I almost called him just to yell, but I stopped myself. He doesn't get to waltz back in after what he did. Chloe's new boyfriend's been around more, too, and that's its own headache. Yesterday, he roared up on his bike while I was watering the lawn, and she came out to meet him, all giggles and hair flips. She looked over at me, smirked, and said, "Nice camera." Paranoid much? Loud enough for me to hear. I wanted to chuck the hose at her, but I just turned it off and went inside. She knows she's getting to me, and it's working. The letters haven't stopped. Got one this morning that said, "You'll regret staying." I'm starting to wonder if she's unhinged, like this is her twisted way of pushing me out. I've been talking to my therapist about it, and she thinks I should sell the house, start fresh somewhere else. Part of me agrees. Why stay where I'm this miserable? But the other part's stubborn as hell. I love this place. I've made it mine, yellow walls and all. Why should I let Chloe chase me off? My sister's on team stay and fight. She even offered to sleep over with a baseball bat if it gets worse. I laughed, but I'm half tempted to take her up on it. So that's where I'm at, 10 months out, still standing, but barely. Ethan's off living his life. Chloe's thriving on making mine hell. And now I've got these creepy letters to deal with. I keep wondering if I handled this all wrong. If I'd left Ethan sooner, confronted Chloe harder, moved away, would I be free of this? Or is this just who they are, and I'm stuck in the fallout no matter what? I'm trying to be strong, but some days, I just want to scream. Am I the one screwing up here, or are they still the a-holes dragging me down?
Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the story and found something meaningful to reflect on. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss our daily updates on raw, real, and often intense family stories. Your support means the world to us.